From July the 18th to about the 24th, Venus is going to bend the nodes of fate, particularly the fate of the North Node. And we can only see her do this 2 times every 18 and a half years in the way she's doing it in our sky this time around. She's bending the North Node in Pisces as she is moving through the sign of Gemini. And this story is something that we need to pay attention to collectively and individually, for the goddess of love and beauty and peace and goodness and even money is in action with fated stories for each of us. And in your chart and in your life, she can bring you turning points in love, turning points in money, turning points in friendship, turning points in peace in your own life. And so we're going to talk about how she might show up for you based on your sun, moon, and rising sign during her nodal bending period. Now, this nodal bending in Gemini will happen again next year. It'll happen on April the 29th or so, and it's happening around July 21st this year. We're going to give it from the 18th of July to the 24th for the window of influence, as Venus moving through Gemini is going to activate the North Node of Fate in the sign of Pisces. And again, it happens again next April, and you won't see that again for an entire 18 plus years. For example, we last saw Venus bending the Node of Fate in Pisces. We last saw her doing the North Node bending in July of 2006 and April of 2007. And so you'll have to go back to 2006 and 2007 to compare to what things were occurring in your life then. But I'll remind you that as we go through your sign, if you're not sure how to do this rising sign, sun and moon, it confuses you. I understand that completely. But your rising sign is the rising sign is your simulation avatar. It has a lot to do with your character you play in this game of life. And it can be very circumstantially accurate. So like when you listen for your rising sign, you'll probably find a lot of the content jives, keeping in mind this is a general bell curve astrology reading, not a natal chart. When you're listening for your moon, it's matters connected to your home, and your sun is your career and purpose. Now, look, it's interestingly, because like people ask me, I don't get it, I don't understand. We pretend the moon is in the first house. My Aries moon, I rotate it to a first house Aries placement. And when I think about my Aries sun, it's like I rotate it to the first house, which it does not exist in my natal chart. It's in my third house. And I talk to like sun, moon, and rising Aries, right? As if everybody's got first house placements. It's called spinning the wheel, derived houses. It works perfectly fine for general prediction. So we're treating these placements as if they're first house. Done my explanation. Okay. A couple of things. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Lori Lothian. Please hit the like button, subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. That does also tell you when I put new content out. Check to see you're still subscribed. YouTube is always dumping subscribers off my channel. It's just a regular thing. I don't think I'm being picked on. You don't have to give me advice about how to keep the YouTube algorithm not bothering me. Sorry, guys, I'm having a day with my hair. And the other thing I want you to know is that my Sky Reader class is beginning soon. We're going to teach that class yet again, 6th time around this September. Would be your own astrologer, time your best life. If you want to learn enough astrology to be your own astrologer and to understand a bit about some simple divine timing tools, predictive techniques using ancient tools from ancient astrology, come join me for that class. How to sign up? Check the description box below. What you'll find there is the early bird discount wait list. The enrollment tuition card doesn't even open until July 31st, but you just want to get on the wait list at this point. I'll let you know exactly when the card opens, and you can get a deeper discount from the regular tuition price. So first of all, first things first. I'm going to very briefly talk about world events. Some of you know I'm going to start a new section called the World Astrology playlist, and I'll probably put a world astrology video out when I do them on Wednesdays. So I've already talked about the prediction of a tsunami coming through from the Japanese artist, manga artist, that maybe there will be a tsunami near Japan coming up July 5th. I don't think that was her prediction. I think she, in July 5th of 21, came up with this precise prediction. And so I do think she just means July 2025. The astrology supports catastrophic water events for sure, and tsunamis in particular. We had flooding in Texas July 5th. That's not the thing. It's not about that. It's something else. It's something to do with the oceans. Okay. So we're still under tsunami watch, I would say. I predicted in my 2025 overview video a major earthquake, a magnitude 9 kind of vibe, either California, I said, or Japan. And that prediction has still yet to bear out. So crossing our fingers that it doesn't, but that's just reality. When we talk about Venus today, we're going to only briefly talk about her two sides. She's a goddess of love and beauty and money and prosperity and kindness and what we desire to experience in life that brings us pleasure. But she can also be of two faces, like Jekyll and Hyde. And that's because she's either going to be in the sky as a morning or evening star. And when she is in her morning star iteration, this is the warrior version of Venus. And she's in that state for 9 months at a time. She entered into her warrior archetype in April, when she co-joined the sun, April of 2025. And she does not leave her warrior nature until January of 2026, when she's going to co-join the sun in Capricorn. So her co-joining the sun in a retrograde motion births her into the world as the actual warrior version of herself. And this conjunction happened in April in the sign of Aries. And therefore, we see her now not only born as a war star energy, a war version of herself, prone to fighting and arguing and creating conflicts as well, but also from the sign of Aries, where quite rightly and truly she has a tendency to be a warrior goddess, because it is the sign of war. So in that regard, for the world, things to go on in the world to do with war. We have still wars all over the place in the Middle East, in Ukraine, Russia. It tends to be that she can inflame the situation before it gets better. And we've been seeing some of that going on with Ukraine, Russia as well. Since April, it's not seemingly getting much better. It may be even getting worse. And this is going to be true until at least January. Now, she will be becoming more invisible as we approach that conjunction in early January. So it might see the end of the year in December giving way to more solid peace in various places in the world. In one of the charts for Iran, Iran is an Aries rising. And there's another chart where it's a Leo rising. They're both valid charts. But the Aries rising Iran in April experienced Venus in the heart of the sun, birthing herself as a warrior star. And that could indicate troubles in Iran won't close out until December of next year. And in fact, watch the first 2 weeks of August for a Mars-Saturn activation that is a part of the cycle of this war. So if you think that maybe this war is not happening, or this war is all over, it's like Iran is over, it's not. Iran is not over yet. It's still unfortunately playing out. I don't think it's going to be completing its cycle until January of next year. Now, the first thing I want you to know about here is this idea of the good part of Venus for your sign. We're going to do that. Venus will try to knit together something. She wants to unite something that is not united. So we'll be talking a lot about how, in a destined fated way, the Pisces and the Gemini part of your sky are having karmic and destined pivot points. And that's what we're going to focus on for your sign. Try your rising sign first and foremost, then your sun, and then your moon. Listen for all three. Over time, you begin to see where you're really aligning. Certainly, rising sign and sun are critical storylines. It is historically true that in 2006 and 2007, a particular part of the world experienced some surges of war and difficulty with conflict because of this particular bending. And that was the nation of Lebanon. Lebanon is a Virgo rising country. And right now, south node eclipses are moving through Lebanon's sky, which usually brings conflict in the country. As Venus, who can bring war, crossed through Gemini in the middle of June 2006, there was a 34-day war incited right at that same time, as Hezbollah and Israeli soldiers, the IDF, did a 34-day war. I'm not going to go into any of the details, but we can probably see a repeat of something similar this time around. Look for this time frame. It was July 17th, 2006, by the way, and it was on July 12th that the Lebanon 34-day war started, of Israel versus Lebanon, or Hezbollah. Now, in April of 2007, once again, Venus spent the nodes of fate the way she's doing now from the Pisces and the Virgo corridor of the South and North Node axis. And we had a civil war break out in Lebanon between different factions. And it was considered to be the most intense civil war since the big Lebanese civil war that had happened in the 1970s. So we would very well assume in this regard that we're likely to see this play out is trouble with Lebanon, within Lebanon and out. The 2007 Lebanon conflict began when fighting broke out between Fatah al-Islam, an Islamic militant organization, and the Lebanese armed forces on May 20th of 2007. It was April 23rd that she bent the nodes of fate, indicating the south node in the sign of Virgo, impacting the nation of Lebanon. And that began internal fighting, the most intense since Lebanon's 1975 to 1990 civil war. I'm not going to go into more detail. I just want you to know that I would be surprised if there was nothing going on vis-a-vis Israel and Lebanon or within Lebanon of great note, of great note on the July, it's July the 21st, 2025, but I'm giving it the 18th or the 17th to about the 24th for feeling this energy in the world. And, it doesn't have to be exact. I mean, because in 2007, the nodal bending happened around the 23rd of April, and it wasn't until May that this actual civil war broke out. So it could even give it a longer orb of time, as long as Venus stays in Gemini, basically, as she bends the space of Gemini, not even by degree, just bends the whole of Gemini toward the Pisces Virgo axis. So we're in a time Venus is in the sign of Gemini for the entire month of July, starting around July 1st, actually July the 4th, all the way to the 30th. So that's when strife in Lebanon, Israel, or within Lebanon, and all of those stories will definitely come back, and they'll be back again next summer in April, at the end of April, when again this happens. So April, May of next year, a resurgence of that story. That's my world astrology today. I'm done. We're doing your sign. This is so cool. This is so important. We want to cover it. I don't think there's any reason that we wouldn't dig into this a little deeper. Donald Trump, of course, has his sun in Gemini. This can impact Donald Trump's career or vitality. Sun in Gemini people and Gemini sun, moon, and rising are particularly strongly activated by Venus bending the nodes of fate from the Pisces here and the south node in the sign of Virgo. Now, I've been talking quite a bit in many videos about the fact that Mars and the south node are going to join as well. And that's going to be happening just shortly after Venus bends the nodes. And that's going to indicate some serious calamity. Well, actually, what am I saying? They've already done the bending. Mars would have crossed the south node a day or two before, right here on the 20th. So it makes the 20th and the 21st or thereabouts very intense energy for the world, connected to war and peace. And of course, Mars south node over the Lebanese ascendant. That's not a good place for Lebanon. And, Israel being the Libra rising nation it is, right here. This is happening in its 9th house of foreign lands and foreign shores. But hey, for foreign entities, foreign countries, it certainly is a foreign country. Lebanon is not a country that Israel has possession of. So keep that in mind. So we're going to see that thing flare. There's no doubt about it. Now, for your sign, we're really just going to focus on the Venus story today. We're not going to try to mesh too much into it. The Mars South Node conjunction, though, is really about cutting, ending, and letting go, and what you need to let go of in your own life. What I love about this is the asteroid opposites here for opportunity. New opportunities are emerging, and there's a chance for Hygeia, healing. And we also have here Altjira. This is a creation god. And this is a creation god that has a lot to do with the Aboriginal Australian conceptions of the dream time. The creation deity of the Aranda Indigenous people of Australia's Northern Territory. Altjira brought the universe into being by dreaming it. And it's said that Altjira is willing to help anyone who asks and who is willing to work with this dream time, finding solutions in dreams and applying them when you awaken. So I'm going to say, essence of it is try to dream a better dream, try to dream a new dream, try to dream something new into your life, using the dream time, your inner dreams, your imagination. We also see that the moon will be traveling here. And by the way, will become pretty darn exact 19-degree moon, 19-degree Venus, 19 degrees Hygeia for health and healing and wellness and preventative health and opportunity for happy endings after times of difficulties, as well as just simple abundance, thrival, and opportunity. Uranus here for the first time in 80-something years is offering up shocks and surprises. For the world, it's a little different. You're not going to Mars out here and go to war, I hope, civil war within yourself, your Jekyll Hyde nature. But, remember that Gemini, where Venus is traveling, does incite wars of civil nature, because this is the neighbors, the brothers, the twins. And so war amongst peoples as neighbors So Israel is a neighbor to Lebanon, or within Lebanon, civil war are exactly the kinds of things we're likely to see hitting the headlines. Other nations that have Virgo rising, Pisces rising, Gemini rising nations could also get really mucked up in this as well. China is Aquarius rising, just so you know. And so it's not about China that I can tell. Although with Pluto going over China's ascendant right now, I would say that if there's conflict in the world on the third week of July, China can take advantage of it. They can do what they want because everyone's focused somewhere else. That's what I'd say about the third week of July if China gets involved at all. Now, it's a story here for your sign. That's what we're going to cover. I'm going to ask how you can find happy endings after times of difficulties and new sense of thrival and a new sense of expansion and growth in your life, opportunities arising, green thumbing your life, dreaming something new into being as we get this very rare, once every 18 years, two times in every 18 to 20 years, this occurs on the cycle of eclipses. So yes, you have to go back to July of 2006 and April 2007 to compare notes. But the vibe is here. Venus is trying to bring good things that are fated and destined to your life. So let's go through your sign. We'll start with Aries and we'll move through each one. This is not a long video. I'm recording on Sunday, the July the 6th. I don't know what else is going on in the world right now. I've been working all day, but I would say that this can be a good thing. It doesn't have to look like all of the stuff I talked about with world events. Nations move on different principles. They're more influenced by other planets and their transgenerational energies. This is really about your unique circumstance. You have one whole sign Gemini house, and you have one whole sign, please use whole sign, a Pisces house. And those two houses are hugely activated. You have one whole sign Virgo house. It's a part of the story. It's where you need to let go of something. So let's go ahead and delineate your sign. Please subscribe, and hit that notification bell. It really makes a difference. This channel has been around since 2019 in its current form, and it'd be useful to have support from you guys to keep on growing this channel. Otherwise, then I could always retire or something. Okay, here we have it. We're going to move into Aries, and we'll move from there. Don't forget, I'm giving you a time frame. I'm going to go from the 17th to the 24th of July. There's a lot of this nodal bending happening. Oh my goodness gracious. Sorry, guys. Hours. We need hours to find where we want to land here. So we're heading into Aries land. Aries, sun, moon, and rising sign. So we can see here what's going on. That big blue triangle is the square, the T square, as Venus is going to in your third house of travels and journeys and trips, short distances, skills-based teaching, learning, and matters to do with your local neighborhood, your neighbors, things to do with social media, the virtual neighborhood, and things to do with social media platforms can be here as well. So Venus is traveling through that third house, and it's also the house of the sibling one younger, and maybe a story that's happening in their life, not even about you, but siblings in general, sibling one younger. As Venus is traveling here, we see thrival, growth, opportunity, happy endings after times of travail and difficulty, ops, and we see a moon lighting things up. For moons bring illumination to the story. And FYI, the sun happens to be sitting in the sign of Cancer. So this is an old moon. It's an old moon, guys. It is literally close. It's balsamic. So it's an old wise moon that always wants to close out, close down, and finish something anyway. And so we've got a lot of energy to consider here. Again, we're talking about epicenter around July 21, 22, but give it a take 4 or 5 days on either side. What are you going to close up, close down, so you can dream something new into being, so you can find better health and wellness with Hygeia here? You might make a pivotal turning point regarding working out, going to the gym, doing yoga classes, finding exercise routines in the local environment. Because of Mars in the house of sickness, it looks like a pivot point regarding physical wellness and health, but connected to local environment, maybe in local exercise, local yoga studios, whatever. What do you want to dream into new? into a new form in your life. This is the creation god of the dream time. And this pivot allows from the 18th to the 24th of July to dream a new dream, to dream something into being that you really want to achieve. We do writing and podcasting and communicating and marketing and selling and teaching and learning in that third house. So all of these things are up for rejuvenation and revisioning. Because Venus is bending the North Node in Pisces, there's a turning point in which you have to lean into something of the 12th house vis-a-vis third. 12th house is digital revenue, foreign income, borderless income, income created from far off lands and shores or foreign employers and foreign clients. So, most of us onliners have this all of the time as a principle of how we make money. And so this is like leaning in to some turning point energy. Now, it is a square. It requires and demands action, decisions. Go for it. Make it happen, right? It's not going to happen without you're being pushed into something. Now, do it, and make it happen. With Uranus with Venus in this part of the sky, you could have a viral hit here, something go big on the online social media world, some big opportunities that go into action unexpectedly, perhaps because of Uranus. With the South Node in your 6th house and Mars there as well, well, goodness gracious, this is going to definitely be a situation where you're definitely letting go of some kind of work. Something in the work you do in this world needs to be released. I have an Aries sun. My career path is connected to it. I probably will let go of booking any more clients. And as I'm rounding up my last clients in early July, I don't think I'll reopen my calendar. I have an agent and I'm trying to write a book proposal. So that's me leaning into the writing of Venus in the house of writing. See how I'm parsing that for you? Venus has to take orders from Mercury. I should have put him in there. And he's just turned retrograde at this point in the sign of the Lion, Leo. This can very well look like there's some kind of project that's artistic or creative from your past that you need to lean into. It's a fated, destined thing that you need to create something, and it's from the past and you need to move into it. Similarly, foreign love relationships from romantic partners from your past may come into your life at this time. Emails, phone calls, text messages. But there's also something very pivotal and important and critical about that. It's not incidental. Mercury is in the house of romantic love, but he's retrograde. So information, news, phone calls, texts from past romantic partners may be in the mix at this bending of the nodes of fate. Now, you could travel to some place you've been before. Mercury loves to travel for leisure travel or romantic travel. But then if you do, there's pivotal and destined changes in your life because of that travel. It's not just any old vacay. Lastly, Pluto is trining Venus more or less, or the whole Gemini asteroid base really trining Uranus during this time. And so there's a lot of wealth, power, transformation, and your career gains going on here at this pivot point, and possibly even something to do with a powerful or wealthy or influential people in life, people of power or wealth, coming in to be a friend, ally, or benefactor and serving your success in writing, communicating, marketing, selling, teaching, traveling, podcasting, all the social media jive as well. Could be a nice little breakthrough for you in your social media landscape, whether it's TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, any of those platforms will do. And Neptune says yes. Neptune's going to be going through Aries for the next 14 years. Minus a dip back for a while in the fall until early next year, but it's going to give you a superpower around imagination, around storytelling, around videography platforms. So there's a new version of you that's becoming Neptunian, and this is exciting. And Saturn is with Neptune as well, but we can't cover everybody, guys. Let's move into Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising. So Taurus, Venus bends the nodes of fate, just like she did way back in 2006 and 2007, July and April. Now, you're always going to compare notes. I should have done that for the Aries because I actually know what happened to me in 6-7, but I missed my chance. So, go back in time. Think of July of 2006, April of 2007, when Venus was doing his house, righty? And so this is your earnings, possessions, things you have. It's sometimes your food style. And it's possible that you might change your dietary habits here, and maybe you did back then too, in 2006, 7. But if you're not changing things that you eat or ingest, especially addictive substances, and getting out from underneath that, you have this other energy going on for financial thrival. There's something that wants to really take off here. You're looking at the idea of flourishing financially after a time of great difficulty or travail, bringing some fiscal health and financial health to your life, as well as dreaming a new dream into being. The moon is old, the moon is balsamic. She is coming into a sun that's in the sign of Cancer. So you're probably, well, moving on to early Leo by then, but let's put the sun in. It starts while the sun is in the sign of Cancer. And so from about the 18th to the 24th of the month of July, you want to close out one thing in the money story and even maybe career story. But we have a little shock and awe in the money, earnings, resources part of the chart. Venus is the ruler of your work house and your debts. So debts and work, I mean, literally legal disputes, debts, physical, like manifesting, like literally credit card debts or other debts are on the menu. I'm not too sure I mind Uranus here because it can be a very big lightning bolt surprise where somebody in a position of wealth or power or authority can support you in a turnaround financial story of some kind, getting your dream job, a raise or a paycheck promotion, a sudden opportunity to eliminate some kind of indebtedness that's been challenging you, an opportunity for a better position in a corporate structure or something like that. But there's also Venus having to let go of the South Node and to activate the North. The North Node is like pennies from heavens and windfalls, right? No bad, not too tough. The North Node up there in your 11th house of windfalls, but it's also friends, allies, and benefactors and people who could support you or just greater gains from your career financially. So there's a financial turning point, ahoy. And with the South Node in the 5th house, you might have to let go of something 5th house-ish, cut, end, and sever. 5th house has things to do with independent business enterprise, like entrepreneurial stuff or creative projects, those sorts of things. If it's something to do with dietary habits, it's what gives you great pleasure. You're enjoying eating it. Pleasures and joys of life is the 5th house, and cut, end, and sever. Because broadly speaking, I mean, Mars wants to square what Venus is up to. So it's really like time to close out that door, especially addictions with Neptune in your 12. You know, it's time to end the weed, the wine, the women in the song, whatever holds you back. You have a nice turning point pivot of opportunity to let it go forever. Mercury tells Venus what to do. He's in land, property, and real estate. So there's for some of you, issues to do with the past, commercial interests to do with real estate, buying and selling, marketing, negotiating deals to do with real estate, connected to past endeavors are coming back to be paid attention to. I do think that there are positive resolutions here because of opportunity ops and because of Altjira. So I think you could definitely find yourself resolving some real estate disputes, problems, financial matters as well as a result of this window of the 17th to the 24th of July. Gemini, sun, moon, and rising. So first of all, Venus is in your sign. So Gemini sun is about your career. Gemini moon, things to do with your home and home life. And Gemini rising, anything to do with your character in the simulation, your identity, avatar, character. And having this Venus rising storyline, you know, right with your rising sign, for those of you who are ascendants in Gemini, it's giving you a lot of luck right now, a lot of public appeal, a lot of social abilities, charismatic charm. It's making you more likable and friendly, and you feel better and more friendly, but other people like you and you're more friendly to them. So Venus is going to be here, traveling until the end of the month. So keep your charm offensive up. And as she's moving through here, you'll notice that she's going to be connecting to the dream god, to dream a new dream, really lean into what you wish to attract and to desire, what you desire and wish to attract to your life right now. And especially true as we get closer to about the 17th to the 24th, when she's also beginning to hook up in the nodal bending. Physical health and wellness is something you can achieve right now, as well as the beauty that comes from the physical wellness. This is the 4th of the month. of July to the end of the month, you can definitely improve your health. And there's opportunities for happy endings after times of difficulty. But the pineapple goddess Ops is also about where we thrive. And so you're coming into physical thrival. If it's your sun, career thrival. If it's your moon, thrival about home and property and where you live. So all of these are true. I love this energy, though, of the balsamic moon quality here as well, where you're coming to endings in your life, closures with wisdom and sagacity, especially around matters to do with finances and your own physical wellness. With Mars in your fourth house, you have to let go of something to do with homeland, property, and real estate, or things that you're doing in and from the home, and release and surrender it. Now, sometimes Mars down here just means traveling from home. And some of you may be traveling from your home during this 17th to the 24th timeframe. And if you are, this is not any travel opportunity. This is much more important. This could be a very critical turning point in some significant thing going on in your life. Because you were traveling, you were able to receive the change of information, so to speak. She's bending the North Node in the 10th house of career and reputation. And there is something about your career and reputation that needs to be attended to. And you're going to bend the node for favoring your own prosperity, success, beauty, wellness, health, and popularity. You know how to do it. You're getting more exposure, more worldly success through to next summer with the North Node up here. And Venus is giving you a nice little turning point lift this summer. Don't forget to go back and see how was it in July of 2006? How was it in April of 2007? Because that's when she bent the nodes here just in the very same way. For example, with my progressed Gemini sun, and it was progressed back then into the sign of Gemini already. Let me double check that. 2007, 17. I think it had maybe it was already there. Can't remember, so I won't use me as an example. But I think that if I remember, my sun was progressed into Gemini, but it may not have quite got there yet. So I'm going to let that story go. But I did have financial success in 2006-07 about a change of tactic and how I made money. All right. Now, the other thing for you is considering Mercury's position. I mean, he's a ruler of Venus as she's nodal bending. He's now retrograde in the sign of Leo. We'll be doing a video on the retrograde cycle. There's just something about the following themes where you can be very successful, from projects to do with teaching, learning, writing, marketing, selling, communicating, social media, and travel, to places you've been in the past, or projects you've been writing, book proposals like me, writing on projects in the past, or social media projects, learning and teaching projects from your past. Mercury retrograde, you're redoing something, revising something maybe, and Venus is bending the node under his direction. So, and in any of this career success that comes from this story, and there can be great career success, is indicating that you have revisions to do and changes to make to do with the themes of the third house, which I've already shared with you. Friends from your childhood could come back out of the past and influence you in positive ways at this time, as well as good guidance or support from siblings connected to things with your siblings, or travel with your siblings, or stories with your siblings and the past. Pluto trines this whole storyline from the 9th house. This is really good for the words international, for teaching, learning, traveling, and book publishing. And this is a nice little 17th to 24th window of pivotal destined change and success. Don't forget, you get another iteration next April of the same energy, different degrees, but the same vibe. Cancer, sun, moon, and rising. Venus is bending the nodes of fate in your favor. And this is very subtle for you. It's coming off the 12th house. There's only one way this isn't subtle. She's a money goddess in a house to do with digital income, borderless income, digital revenue, money from distant shores, foreign clients, working for a foreign company. Those are ways that you get money from the 12th house. And she is definitely able to help you there, bringing opportunity after times of difficulty or hardship, bringing a thrival, happy ending vibe with Altjira, dream a new dream, and do it literally, especially with the moon here. This is a dream house. Pay attention to your nocturnal dreams. They're going to be powerful. Yes, around July 17th to the 24th. And having Venus in this part of the sky with Hygeia is good for your health. But you'll be doing better health routines in your own downtime, or even better sleep hygiene. For some of you, sleepless night, Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Having the North Node and South Node activation in that big triangle is critical destined turning points that Venus will bring for you, like she did in July of 2006 and April of 2007. Here we are again. She's going to bend the North Node, indicating opportunity for publishing, travel, legal wins and court cases, matters to do with success and gains in academic environments, foreign people, places, and things being significantly activated for you at this time. If you are someone with a spiritual philosophy or spiritual guide or teacher, this is going to activate those themes. But from the 12th house, go to the ashram, go to a spiritual retreat, go to a spa cleanse, and it will be pivotally life-changing for you in some way, should you choose that assignment. Now, with any of you involved in the book publishing industry could have some major turnaround stories as well regarding agents, publishers, or success on that front. South Node Mars, give it up, let it go. Is it time to stop this thing? What things can you quit? Social media engagement, skills-based learning, let go of your local neighborhood situations, let go of the disputes with your neighbors, let go and surrender and release matters to do with your writing, communicating, marketing, selling, online space. Something might have to be shifting. Something might have to be released here. Some of you might want to also pursue education and educational opportunities under this influence, as well as take short distance trips and travel. But if you do any of those things, especially the travel stuff, destined travel opportunities, they may not be taken. I'm not saying you're traveling, the 17th to the 24th, but you may book a trip. You may plan a trip, as well as you could take a trip as well, with this big destiny thing going on here. Distant shores, foreign lands, foreign places, or even domestic travel is indicated that has fated and destined storylines for you. Balsamic moon in the 12th house is opening up your psychic abilities, your Akashic records, the door to your psychic dream realm. So pay attention to those dreams. You have a nice little Mercury story. It's about the money, honey. Do you want to make more money? Do you want to let go of a dietary habit or addiction? That's good too. But money from the past or opportunities financial opportunities from the past are indicated here. And with Venus, it's like sealing a deal or making a deal or having a handshake behind the scenes to make a financial deal happen for you that favors you greatly around more prosperity in your life. You'll have this energy back again next year, April of 2026, but not with the same Mars or Mercury. So the flavor will never be the same twice in a row. Leo, sun, moon, and rising sign. In the sky here, what we see is a beautiful Venus bending of the node of fate from the 11th house to the 8th house. This story happened in July of 2006 and April of 2007. Now, Venus has your best interest at heart here. She's in the house of good spirit, which brings windfalls and pennies from heaven. And this happens to be a money goddess with, opportunity and thrival after times of difficulty and sudden shocking surprises that are positive, and Altjira to dream a new dream. And so there could be a financial opportunity that excites you, that blows you away, that's unexpected. It could come through career matters, a friend, ally, or benefactor, through a sibling, one older than you. And at the same time, this is exciting, positive developments of opportunity is talking to Mercury, who happens to be, by the way, in your first house. Negotiations, deals, ideas, and conversations connected to things in the past bring greater prosperity now. And you're bending the node in the 8th house of chunky money. Well, the money there is derivative money. It's like a sign-on bonus, a severance package money. It's money that comes from your spousal separation agreements, inheritances, or in a chunk, but you're not getting paychecked out here. It's not your salary necessarily. She'd like to pull you into more financial solidity in long game monies, like investments and retirement monies, perhaps as well. You have to let go, surrender, and release something that Mars and South Node say it's time to end this. What? Could be a dietary habit or pattern, but more likely what you need to let go of here is you're letting go of the surrendering and releasing an income earning strategy of some sort. So some way that you've made money is no longer needed. It's time to release or surrender it, to open up to prosperity coming in through different means and different venues. Certainly with Jupiter here with the North Node, there's going to be more prosperity through inheritances, spousal support money, investment monies, and stuff like that, than there is going to be in the future, at least the next year, from like your daily paycheck, so to speak. So there's positive financial turnings going on here with Venus's support for happy endings, greater career gains, maybe even a sense of a windfall of some sort. Virgo, sun, moon, and rising. Venus is, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit my notification bell. It is exactly 111 on July the 6th. Venus, I want you, Venus, Virgo, I want you to look at your career here in the 10th house, your career, your reputation, your visible status, and actions in the world. Because July 17th to 24th, Venus is activating very precision targets of the nodes of fate. She did the same journey in July of 2006 and April of 2007. And so here we are in July of 2025. It can open up more public acclaim, a success in your reputation. So say you were a student back then, like going to university or going to elementary school even, you might have had some success in your visible career of being a student, right? Like, wow, I got great grades. I got escalated to, the highest level of my class, that kind of thing. So Venus is busy in the 10th house replicating those stories. She's with opportunity, happy endings after time of difficulty. And she's also improving your health, like maybe your career health. Maybe you're going to be healthier because of a career change. She's also working with Altjira, time to dream a new vision into being of what you really want to desire in your career. Don't waste this energy. It's powerful. She's with this very amazing asteroid. I'm going to go back a day, though, to keep the moon in there for us. And also consider how it is that you may be benefiting from the bending of the North Node, because it's about contracts, deals, and agreements, partnerships in business and love. But because it's such a career spot, the only other thing I could say is you get a wedding proposal, a marriage proposal off of the sky. Otherwise, you're getting something like, is it time to sign that deal, sign that destined work contract, sign that legal agreement for my new job, or my escalation to new levels of authority or power or success in my career, and some legal contractual signings that are needed here. It's certainly interesting to see that you have to let go of something here, South Node Mars, that's bothering you physically, maybe, right? Your physical wellness, less so for the sun and moon, but the rising, yes, physical challenges and surrendering, releasing the causal impact. Certainly with Mercury in your 12th house ruling the South Node, some of the things you're dealing with are self-induced. Mercury's in the house of self-undoing. So those could be addictions or bad habits and patterns that are not good for your health. And so you might get ready to let go of some of those things and be very serious about it, July 17th to the 24th. If you do, it'll only increase your career success, maybe because you're on your A game instead of your B game, because you're not hungover or something like that. I'm just using that as an example. That doesn't have to be exactly the thing. Now, having the energy of Mercury in your 12th house as well means backroom deals and negotiations support greater success and unexpectedly maybe shocking in your career, where people behind the scenes have machinated on your behalf to increase your success in your career. The North Node as well could be about your significant other, and some of this can indicate major success turning points in the life and career of your main long-term relationship partner. Pluto supports good things happening to power you up in unexpected, surprising ways to new levels of work and career success. This is a window that comes back again next summer in April, but not exactly the same. So use this one while it's here. All right, Libra, sun, moon, and rising sign. I'm just going to pause. If you've been listening this long and you haven't hit the like button or subscribed or, decided that you might want to try that, would you guys do that? It does help the channel grow. I would appreciate it. I'm usually sharing jewelry here because I'm a jewelry junkie. And my favorite brand is Otter Spirit. And they have these lovely little trios and little tiny, I like the tiny beads, right? This is theirs as well. I like all beads, but this is this is many of them, apatite and pyrite and what do you call it, aventurine and stuff like that. Now, their trios are set by astrology. Like get your Leo trio, get your Aries trio. There's so many different trios you can get. I love the astrological precision. They're tying it to different stones that have meaning, like go boldly where you've never gone before. I just constantly promote their jewelry because I love their jewelry. Grade A stone. So check it out in my description box. It's Otter Spirit. The link to their website is in my description box, and you'll see some of their most beautiful jewelry. I have the Aries trio, the Leo trio, the Aquarian trio. There's various different types of trios. And I didn't mean to do an ad. I was just stopping to get some water. So if you want to check it out, 20% off using my code Lunatic Astrology, or is it Lunatic 20? Otter Spirit link in the description box below. Go check out their jewelry, guys. It's beautiful stuff. I'm coming back. I need some water. Hey guys, we're going to continue on. I'm getting warm in my apartment. We're going to talk to you about your sign. It's Libra through to Aquarius, and it is the bending of the nodes of fate by Venus, the goddess of love and beauty. And where's my chart? And peace and kindness and prosperity. Here we go. So next is Libra, sun, moon, and rising. You'll notice here, Libra, that you're dealing with Venus coming through your ninth house for all the month of July, and basically, July 4th through the 30th. And she's bending the nodes of fate. This is really great for Libras when it comes to publications, foreign land and travel, higher and university academics, publishing industry stuff, things to do with spiritual guidance, mentor, spiritual philosophy, the house of God. Now, she's up here in a Dharma house to be aligned with your purpose. And in a way, she hasn't been since 2006, 2007, July and April, because she's bending the node of fate in the house of work and service. So you're really asking to pull yourself into alignment with service and work that's true for you. And you probably did the same thing in 2006, 2007, and you're doing it again. This time around, you get opportunity and thrival and happy endings after times of difficulty and maybe prosperity. Uranus is the surprise you didn't see coming. Venus is talking to Altjira to dream something new into being. It could be a dream to go back to university, a dream to travel the world, a dream to publish that book that you always wanted to publish, a dream to meet a guru. Those are great themes up there. And you can learn and teach, and a dream to be a learner or a teacher in something true and beautiful and wise is here. Having Venus at the top of the sky here, also squaring the south node, indicates the south node says let go, release, and surrender. Usually an addiction, self-undoing, or bad habit or pattern. That's the 12th house stuff. Or let go of old karma, family, ancestral roots, and stuff that holds you back. Family systems constellation work would be all about things that hold you back, that are connected to your family of origin, patterns you learn from them, still holding on to childhood wounds too. That can be time to cut those away, and do so with ease, maybe through a therapist, a guide, or a mentor, because Venus can be a guide, coach, or mentor, or therapist, helping you slice away old patterns you inherited from your family or adopted from growing up by mistake. I would tell you that it is a story with the North Node in the sixth house till next year, that you could have a lot of worldly success in your career in terms of the kinds of work you do benefiting you and creating success, although you may work very hard for that success. One thing about it is that Mercury tells Venus what to do, and he's in the 11th house of friends, allies, and benefactors. Friends from your past could bring you great benefit right now in your life, in your career space, in your goals and Dharma space as well. So friends that you've known a while, friends from the past, demonstrate favors to you or benefit you in some way. And you may even be communicating with friends in the past from foreign lands and shores that are going to support you during April 17th to the 24th as allies, benefactors, and all of that. Now, one of the things about the moon is it's balsamic. So you're very wise, very sage-like in this time regarding the way you align with your Dharma, your purpose, especially when it comes to your visible career in the world. It's not just any old purpose. The sun is in the career house. And so that's what you're really focused on. The trine from Pluto is beautiful. The trine from Pluto says fire up the muse, get your inspiration, get your creativity, or get your entrepreneurial chutzpah going. All right, get on it already. That's what the sky would favor for you at this time. And you may have some happy endings after times of difficulty with a significant long-term business or love partnership as well. Altjira can open up the doors for some healing in a relationship that's been challenging you. Especially though with Mars on the South Node, there's parts of that relationship, business or love, that you need to let go of, that you need to surrender and release. It maybe just rest, take your hand off the steering wheel. The universe has got you covered. There's a feeling there as well. Hey, Scorpio, sun, moon, and rising. What are you going to do with this sky? Venus is in a chunky money house and she's a money goddess, and she's bending the nodes of fate here like she did in 2006 and 2007. And you can go back and try to remember if you had any financial benefits then at this time. But if not financial, it's the occult mysteries and magic and supernatural and paranormal. And it also represents secrets. So secrets revealed. And she's bending the node of fate, particularly the North Node, in the house of sexual romantic stories. And so sexual romantic revelations and reveals of secrets could come off the sky the 17th to the 25th, but they're going to favor you. You need to know what you don't know will indeed hurt you. Venus rules your marriage house. And so unfortunately, some of those secrets could be marriage secrets, your wife or husband keeping something from you, and they can be revealed at this time, 17th to 24th. It can be positive revelations. It doesn't have to be negative. Honey, I didn't want to tell you, but I'm pregnant. You know what I mean? Who knows what it is? North Node is in the house of fertility. Over the next year until mid next year, you're likely to have fertility. Jupiter is going to amplify that fertility, by the way, from your ninth house. So you could have a huge amount of fertility stories going on here. You might be getting conceptually ready to make babies. So I would say fertility period, or understanding, where you stand on the fertility game board, can be something that emerges in this window of time. Are you and your partner baby making or not? We'll see. I don't know, but having Mercury, the Lord of Venus, in the 10th house influences your reputation and career. Announcements can come up here. You might be announcing, oh, I've got a new job, or announcing, oh, my wife and I are pregnant, or oh, my wife and I are, or my husband and I are, planning to make a baby. I don't know. Maybe that's true. And at the same time, Mercury here is retrograde. So career associates, bosses, and situations from your past are arising again. You're getting in touch with those past career matters. And Venus is a money goddess, and you might be getting career opportunities with new sign-on bonuses, pay raises, or commissions for performance, performance review checks coming through the 17th to 24th. More deeply important is how awesome it is that the node of fate is being bent by Venus, the goddess of the arts, because the node of fate is in Pisces' 5th house. It's about the muse. So some very interesting turning points for you if you're creative, entrepreneurial, or artistic, that are fated and destined. And maybe you can remember feeling those turning points back in 2006 and 7 as well. Let go, surrender, and release some of those friendship groups, social circles, and social life engagements. Let go, surrender, and release the way you earn the money right now, because Mars Uranus would say it's time to let that go. Why not? Moon, balsamic, wise, and very old in the 8th house. But spinning the balsamic nature from that sun in the 9th house of father figures, you could benefit financially because of a father figure. And legacy wealth, Pluto in the 4th house, trining the Venus storyline, indicates a possibility of unexpected financial wealth income source from a father figure, or somebody up your family line could be showing up in that time frame I've just mentioned. Okay. This bending comes back next April, but not the same. So no two bendings are identical. Sagittarius, sun, moon, and rising. Venus is in your basically all of the month of July, more or less, in your 7th house. This is your marriage house, your significant long-term committed partnerships, your business partnerships, your audience in your marketplace. If you reach an audience in marketplace to market, sell, persuade, charm, good for you. Venus is supporting that time frame to work well. If your marriage itself has been struggling, or your marriage partner has been struggling, opportunity, happy endings, better health, maybe sudden changes in their health, and their ability to be wise and dream a new dream into being becomes more available to the partner you're with. The one you're with is experiencing some of this, but the marriage itself may be undergoing a new revisioning, a happy ending after times of difficulty, a happy new beginning after times of difficulty as well. So there's that kind of thing going on in committed long-term love for Sagittarius. Venus is bending the North Node in the house of land, property, home, and real estate. Often the North Node can represent the foreign energy. So there may be some shifts of a locale and where you live connected to a long-term romantic partnership. And it may indeed include the word foreign shores, foreign lands, far off places. I guess if you're single and this is occurring, you might meet a destined fated love story. Did that happen in 2006, 2007? Did you meet somebody and did it feel fated or destined in any way? Or were there destined fated turning points such as endings and beginnings in long-term committed marriage storylines? I know one Sag who met a fated long-term love partner, and I know another one who ended a relationship then. So again, we see these fated love stories. It last happened in July of 2006 and April of 2007. So fated love stories are on the menu for a Sagittarius, fated beginnings, fated endings. Part of it is surprising you and didn't surprise you this way before. You got Uranus, the shock and awe god there. So I won't say it's easy July 17th to 24th because we may have some surprises up the sky's sleeve. Let go, surrender, release, a career, a reputation status. I'm married, I'm widowed, I'm divorced, whatever. Time to release some status of being, social standing. Time to surrender and let it go. And Mercury is in the 9th house, and he's basically telling Venus what to do, right? Venus is in his house. So he says, is it time for legal paperwork? Is it time for visas and passports regarding long-term committed love stories? Is it time for you to meet a destined partner because you're traveling to foreign places and distant shores and lands that you've been to before, and you bump into this love story because of travel? A lot of support from Pluto in the 3rd house, again, speaking to travel. So big, powerful love, beautiful, powerful love can emerge from travel opportunities. But on the same token, some of this can look like legal action. Venus rules the house of legal disputes and the house of marriage, where you're actually looking at separations, endings, paperwork, and legal matters involved in that. Yet because it's got destined fated circumstances involved, it's not in your control. And it may even connect to a move, a change of home, especially with the sun at the tail end of the 8th house. So there's maybe a territorial shift of home coming up for you in this July sky. You'll get this again next April of 26, but it's never the same twice. Best you could do is go back to July of 2006. That would be the closest one to this feeling, but also April of 2007. See what you can come up with. Share in the comments. I'd love to hear how this resonates to the past. Capricorn, sun, moon, and rising sign. What we have going on here, Capricorn, is Venus in a work and health house. So because Hygeia, a goddess of health, is here, seeing a healer, a chiropractor, an acupuncture, somebody may be a very important part of your story in the window of July 17th or so to the 24th. You could also be working on healing your health. That's basically a vibe, and dreaming a new dream in sudden surprising ways, and happy health endings after times of difficulty. Now, because it's also connected to pets and work and rental property opportunities, these themes have to be addressed. Neptune says, do you want a dream home? Uranus says, surprise, here's a rental opportunity. Some of you may be getting into like a destined shift of home connected to a surprise and positive surprise. Venus is the ruler of your house of good fortune. It's a lottery win house, for example. You could be coming off the heels of a win or coming into a financial win here. This is a house that could allow you to pay off debts. It can allow you to secure a rental property as well, or a shocking, surprising new pet that's destined and fated. Now, with the North Node being bent in the 3rd house, Venus wants to sort of pull some levers here for you to do with opportunities connected to commerce, buying, selling, learning, traveling, studying, writing, and communicating, and hitting it from the workhouse. So a work opportunity that involves travel, a travel opportunity that opens doors for new work. Money favors from siblings in particular, connected to debts that are owed. A good opportunity here for South Node is to let go, release, and surrender that spiritual philosophy, that belief, that foreign land travel relationship, that foreign land travel visa, passport status, let go of that academic aspiration. Those are things that you might have to release at this time as well. Certainly July of 2006 and April 2007, similar sky story was here. You can go back to what you were surrendering and releasing back then when it comes to health and work and rentals and pets and so on. Having Pluto supporting this Venus story from the second house means surprising and positive financial opportunity emerging. Again, Venus is just coming off of her transit in Taurus. And so the gains of the lottery house are upon you. So, sometimes it's funny. Yes, the house of good fortune and gambling and speculation is the fifth house. The gains of the fifth house are the sixth. You're more likely to actually take possession of financial gain from lucky breaks when Venus is traveling here. And that travel is here now, July 4th to the 21st. So you can be possession of some financial wins here as well. Mercury is retrograding, and he's the god of telling Venus what the heck to do. Is chunky money. You're going to get a chunk of money if you have any luck coming at you July 4th to the 24th, July 17th to the 24th. It's not always like this. This guy wasn't exactly the same way. The most I can say about 2006 and 7, work, tendencies, rentals, health, office romances. Venus here often brings romantic opportunities that are destined and fated with colleagues or coworkers or employees or bosses, and maybe connected to travel or foreign lands or foreign shores. That's what I got for you. Now, the energy here for me and you, I'm a Pisces, I'm Aquarius rising, and you could be a sun and moon, of course, as well, is that Venus is in the fertility house. Are we pregnant yet? She's been here since July 4th, and she'll be here until the end of the month. And as she goes through our fertility house, our pregnancy house, our conception house, and our birthing house, what do we want to give birth to? A business, a creative project. It's also the house of romantic sexual love, and it's our house of our children. So we can say a few things. First of all, a child may have something happen here, right? They're going to have a destined turning point event to do with healing and wellness and dreaming your dream and good opportunities after times of great difficulty. This can impact both your first and second born child based on this chart. I'll explain why another day. So they're having some breakthroughs in their life. That's good news, right? Because we all want our kids to do well. It's expression of a mother is only as happy as her most miserable child. And I say that's so very true. Don't you agree, fellow mamas out there? Probably papas too. So there's a lot of placement here that says Venus is in good shape. She's in the house of her joy in Hellenistic astrology. And so she's in a joy house and a house of good fortune. So everything looks really sweet. I'm not too worried about it. And she's at the bending of the nodes of fate, and she's bending the North Node in the sign of earnings, money, resources, financial gain. So I'm an Aquarius rising, and back in that 2006-7 time period when the same story happened, I had been offered an opportunity to write an online report for tarot.com, and sometime in 2006 I began to write it in 2007, and it made me a lot of money, a lot of royalty income. So it was seeding some new financial gain in my life through a creative writing project, the fifth house, and the third house to some extent as well. There are other things you can think about because Venus is a goddess of love and romance and a romantic house. And so you may have some destined, fated romantic partnerships emerging for you. I had this wild love affair in the summer of 2006 with an Italian fellow who's still a dear friend. So, fated, destined intersections of romantic love are very obviously possible for an Aquarian. This is also what you need to let go of and surrender in your chunky money. Are you relying too much on money that comes from a spouse, divorce settlements? Now, so ironic that in 2007, I was in the 6 and 7, I was in the midst of divorce situations, selling a common property with an ex-husband. And so there again, you'll see things to do with monies and relationships and love and turning points going on. But surrendering here, South Node, is surrendering a chunk of gain, or, something will have to be let go of. You're here to make your way, to push into more worldly success in your own earnings, resources, and savings. And this transit does make you richer. This is true. 2006 6 and 7 that happened to me, it's happening again now, 2025 into 2026. And the bending here can be a creative project, an entrepreneurial business project, an artistic project that you're going to work on, or that has been created and bends into some success. With Uranus and Venus together, maybe a viral creative project, a viral hit in the social media landscape is a possibility. And that's supported by Neptune in your third. Mercury's bending from the house of long-term committed love. I mean, he's telling the node Venus what to do as she bends the nodes. Conversations with exes from the past, big important ones, legal contracts and negotiations with exes from the past, may be becoming a very big deal here. Good luck financially regarding exes from your past. Mercury retrograde is about the past, and these are people you were with in the past, and you're having information or news or discussions or contact with them for sure, even from lawyers and your people in your past, which sounds really weird, but Athena's like the lawyer here talking to Mercury too. Conversations you've had with a significant relationship partner already, but you've had that conversation before, repeat, rinse, repeat, or back up for negotiations. And this energy is very hot for you July 17th as Mercury stations retrograde through to July 17th. Yeah. But then July 17th to the 24th, you're really feeling the bending of fate happening. Oh, leisure travel and leisure travel for pleasure can be very fifth house. If you're doing any romantic leisure travel in particular, and the kinds of conversations that happen are very important in any existing long-term love relationship. All right, so that's what I've got for you as well. Pluto supports the whole story. You are Pluto, you are powerful, dominating, and you are on your A game of authentic power. And so you're holding a lot of space for really leaning into the power of love and the love of power at this time of your life. Last but not least is Pisces, sun, moon, and rising sign. Holy man, guys, you guys are going to be all about the fourth house of home, property, land, real estate, bending the nodes of fate in the first and seventh house, particularly the first node bending. Go back to 2006, July and April of 2007. Think about your relationship to home, land, and property. Were there major fated destined changes? Did some of them involve a significant long-term love partner as well? Did you move because of relationship? Did you move because of some love story that was unfolding? Now, when Venus is down here, there's beauty in the home, love in the home, art in the home, prosperity in the home, friends in the home, women in the home. And she's down here all of July 4th to the 30th. And against the backdrop, thrival and opportunity and sudden success and dreaming a new dream with sage-like wisdom, especially regarding entrepreneurial and creative projects, can be very active for you this July, the 17th to the 24th. Now, one thing about it is the North Node in your first house is asking you to lean into your own worldly success and define your worldly success by your own terms. Some of your energy may have to pull away from a long-term committed love partner and their needs and wants, and you might have a kind of separation energy as well. It doesn't have to be physical separation, even emotional separation may be ongoing here. You need to focus more on you, what you need, and what you want. And Jupiter ruling you right now in the fifth house says focus on your creativity, your inspiration, your pleasure, your fun, your play, your luck. You can also focus on your own children. But the more creative you are, the more happier you are right now. And partly, I wonder with Mercury in your sixth house of karmic debts and real life debts, of information, news, or emails or phone calls from people in your past for whom you are indebted or you owe them a debt. Venus rules the house of sibling debts, real or psychological or spiritual, are coming into your story. Time to pay the debt or the debt's paid back to you. Maybe conversations with employers in your past as well. Bosses, employees, colleagues, coming back out of the blue and hearing from those people. And if you do, it pertains to situations connected to home and land and property. Venus does rule your house of travel. And you may be, even though she's in your fourth house, you may have some situations of traveling July 17th to the 24th. If you do travel, that's fine, or writing or communicating and marketing and selling, but you could be traveling. If you do, you're traveling to places you've been before. And if you do travel, there's major shifts in long-term committed love stories by vis-a-vis shorter distance travel opportunities that are emerging during this time. I mean, Venus and Mars are square, and that brings friction from the home life and the relationship life. There's tension here, just at a very simple level, but also critical turning points are here as well. Now, sudden opportunities regarding land, property, and real estate and buying and selling can emerge off of the sky as well. So where you may be thinking of rental opportunities because of Mercury's position, there's also another layer of this story that could bring you purchase, buy, and sell opportunities as well during this window. Rent a property as a landlord or leasee, sure, but also you could move into buying and selling because Venus, who brings that opportunity to you, is going to also, and happy opportunities and thrival and sudden and shocking, is going to be connecting to her own house, which is the 8th house. And that's your loans and mortgages and financing as well. Pluto supporting you from the 12th house of backroom deals and negotiations, from the 12th house of distant shores and foreign lands. I'm wondering if some of you might also have an opportunity regarding land, property, and real estate and distant shores and foreign places. Some of you might even lean into that storyline. Did you want to buy a second house in Mexico? Or, you know what I mean? Things like that come up for some Pisces at this time. Ultimately, though, I'd be a little concerned about the idea energy of a Mars South Node conjunction in the house of long-term committed love or significant love relationship. That's very distant, separating, fracturing energy. And so just be cautious here. I don't know what this is, what's really going on here, but there's a lot of intensity as well. Venus will always bring you something good and true. And so keep that in mind and compare notes to 2006 and 2007. This is back in April of 2006. So you have another chance at this. This one is completely different because of planetary placements, especially Mars and Mercury, but it still is a similar vibe. Are you single? You could start dating somebody after this, but you're going to date them close to home or in a work and office environment. Office romance can blossom for single Pisces in the sky, fated and destined ones at that. That's what I've got for you, Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I often have an outro. I talk about some topic that's of curious interest to me. I'm running really late on a Sunday. I did 2 episodes back to back of filming for a show called Through a Glass Darkly with Sean Hazlett. And so I think today's outro is to say, stay tuned for that. I'll be bringing that to your awareness when it becomes available. The best time ever, talking about remote viewing, aliens, and everything else that's been a part of my life. And so I'm excited to share that with you when he brings the material out in a couple of weeks. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe. This video is a Thursday drop, and you'll be getting another drop on, of course, some of my regular Sunday drops and Monday. So Thursday, Sunday, Monday, I'm always dropping videos. Stay tuned for more. Thanks, guys.